y'all. All right, so check it out. What I was just playing there is what's called a box. This is the name of something that you're gonna hear at open mic nights and stuff like that. That was on an A harmonica, playing this pretty Blue Moon brass A harmonica. We're gonna talk about box patterns today. I believe Adam Gusso's got a video on this, but we're gonna definitely get into like the technical side of why it works and how it works and what it's for and all the different ways you can use it. What a box is what we normally associate it with this rhythm here. We hear a lot at blues jams and in blues bands, people will call like a box an E, and usually what they mean is this. Right, bump, ba-da, 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 ba-da. But we can play those same notes in any order, and that's mostly what I was doing before, is just kind of playing some of them or leaving out some of them. So let's talk about the notes that are in each chord. The good news is we're only dealing with 3 chords here, the 1, the 4, and the 5. So in this case, we're in the key of E. So E will be the 1, E, F, G, A will be the 4, and then B will be the 5. So we're just going to be looking at those 3 chords and what notes are in them. So in the first chord, we have the root. So that would be in second position on an A harmonica in the key of E. That would be the 2 draw. You could also play 3 blow if you wanted to. 2 draw sounds better. And then you have the 6 blow, which you can tongue block, a 3/6 split. And then you have the 9 blow, which you can also tongue block, a 6/9 split. Okay, so those are the 3 octaves of 1. Now, a lot of times in these box patterns, it'll leap from 1 octave to another, so it's not uncommon for it to go from 2 draw to 6 blow. Right? So it's the same note, it's just a different octave. So then you drop down to the flat 7, which in this case is the 5 draw. You can tongue block that as a single note or an octave, whichever you choose. And then it goes down to the 5th note of the major scale, which is the 4 draw. So it's a 1, 7, 5. Right, and you can also play it backwards or forwards, however you want to look at it. And that octave up top's optional. You don't have to do that. You could just go. Great thing about these box rhythms is it teaches you 3 of the most important notes on each chord: the root, the 7, and the 5th. In this case, the order of a forward box, I'd be playing the root, the 5th, and the 7th. Doesn't matter what order you put them in. You can put them in any order you want. But it teaches you those roots so you can say the same things on each chord. Important to be able to do the same things on each chord, because you can make like lyrical statements and you can understand like what exactly do sevenths do. So if you don't know what sevenths are, you don't have to understand that to keep watching this video. Okay, you don't have to understand what a flat 7 is or even what a 5th is. I'm gonna give you the holes on the bottom. And then maybe later you'll be able to figure that out. On the 1 chord, the 7 is the 2 draw double bend, the 5 draw, or the 9 draw. Okay, so those are the notes. Now the 7s are flat 7s, also called dominant 7s. They're just blue notes. When you bend 2, it creates a little bit of tension, and we call that a blue note. That's the flat 7 of the 1 chord, or the blue note. It's a good note to play. On the 4, that note is the 3 draw half step bend. Right, so on the 1, 2 draw double bend, 2 draw, and on the 4. And then on the 5 chord, it's 4 draw, 4 blow, 4 draw. You might be thinking, well, this is very confusing, Jason. How is the 4 blow a different note? Isn't it the 4 of 1? Yes. Or you might even be saying, isn't it the root of 4? So how could that note be something different than what it is? The reason why is like this. Let me try to explain to you as best as I can the quantum physics of music. Don't click off yet, okay? This is pretty cool. So this is my little analogy. So I'm holding in my hand a black pen, and you can see it's a black pen. It's got like writing on it and stuff, right? So, you know, you can see that it's like a cylinder shape and that it's about like 4.5, 5 inches, right? But if I were to move, and if I hold it up here, you can see that, right? But if I were to move it down here, okay, you might not notice it because it doesn't stick out as much. So has the pen actually changed value? No, it's still a plastic and cylinder 4.5, 5 inches thing. But then when I move it here, has it changed value? Absolutely, it's changed value because you're perceiving it differently. You might not be able to see it at all. You might notice it only a little. So the pen itself hasn't changed value, but yes, it has. But no, it hasn't, but yes, it has. So what happens when the band changes to another chord, or even when you do in your mind, the notes take on a different meaning. So yes, you know, an A is always an A. But the way A relates to the chord of B is different than the way A relates to the chord of A, or A relates to the chord of E, and on and on and on. So I hope that clears some things up. Back to the box rhythm. So on the 1 chord, 2 draw, 4 draw, 5 draw, 6 blow. So root, 5th, 7, octave. 4, same thing. Root, 5th, 7, octave. So 1 blow, 2 draw, 3 draw, half step bend, 4 blow. And then on the 5 chord, it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to have to play 1 draw, 3 draw double bend to get the 5th of 5, 4 blow to get the 7 of 5, and 4 draw for the octave. So you can do these box rhythms forwards or backwards, however you want to call it. coolest things that you can do once you get it down is instead of adding extra notes, when you're practicing this at home, the best thing that you can do for yourself, and I know it's going to be hard, okay? It's really, really difficult, but it's so rewarding. You got to trust me on this. Is to not play any other notes on the harmonica besides the ones that I just gave you, root, 5, 7, and the octave for each respective chord. Even better, what you can do is limit those notes. Try to just play 12 bars using just the root and the 7 of each chord. So like even there, I threw in a couple of 5s by accident. But see what the byproduct of not playing all the other notes, right, is when you limit the amount of melody, the notes, okay, in the way those notes work, like thinking about like harmony and how they relate and stuff, it gives you more area of your brain to focus on the rhythm. So you can start just doing stuff like just pick the root notes is a good exercise. And, you know, I have another video on just playing root notes, but like, you know, for the sake of what we're talking about now, rhythm, there's a million different ways to play just the 3 notes, right? Kind of inhaling. A root. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. A bump, a bump, a bump, a bump, 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 a bump, 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 a bump. Right, so then you add in an extra note. All right, so that's a box rhythm. So the benefit of doing this is not only great rhythmic exercises, but just fantastic ways of understanding where are 3 of the most important notes as they relate to a lot of blues and jazz and country and rock and funk. There's a lot of musical styles right there. Talking about 7th chords, okay? Dominant 7th chords. Where's the root? Where's the 5th? Where's the flat 7? And where's the octave of each note? Once you understand that, you can start throwing in other harmonies. One of the great things about a box rhythm, for all the music nerds out there, it doesn't include a 3rd in it. A regular major chord is outlined with a 1, 3, 5. It doesn't include the 3rds. The 3rds define whether something's major or minor or not. So if the 3rd is flatted, it's a minor 3rd. We call it a minor third when we're playing in minor key music. The third has to be flatted in order to play in minor. But if the song is in a major key, it can be flatted or it can be unflatted. It's up to you, like how much tension you want to create. Well, the lovely thing about a box is it leaves that ambiguity out. Right now, we're gonna listen to a little bit of Alan Wilson from Canned Heat on the album Hooker with Heat. And what we hear is Alan playing a very loose box pattern on an A harmonica in the key of E with Canned Heat and John Lee Hooker. Now YouTube is going to flag me for putting this in, and then I'm going to claim fair use for instructional purposes. Okay, so it's going to cost me some money to put this in here, because in terms of monetizing, right? Like I might make like 75 cents less this month, but it's worth it. So let's listen to Alan right now, masterfully playing on just a one chord using these notes. Primarily, he ventures out, okay, but primarily he's using root, fifth, flat 7 octave, or 2 draw, 4 draw, 5 draw, 6 blow on an A harp in the key of E with the great John Lee Hooker.
Let's get with it.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just stop it for just a second. I know that was enjoyable, and I'm stopping it, but listen to that. Like, listen to what Alan's doing there. So you might be throwing in a couple of notes here and there, but the predominant thing is, especially that downbeat, boom, bop, ba-da, ba-da, boom, bop, ba-da, ba-da. Right, it's that groove, man. It's that groove, man. He's just killing it, man. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Whiskey and women, they tore it down. When I had money, I been drunk all night and day. I had money. I been drunk all night and day. I been stoned. Every night I had a different girl. Yeah. If I ever get
Back on my feet again.
If I ever
He's improvising a little now.
get back on my feet again, I'll let wicked women
All right.
wreck my life more.
Okay, it's just one example. Okay, that's just one example. That's a box chord just on one chord, just on E7, E dominant 7. you know, you guys have heard me talk all about scales and modes and all of these different ways, but another way that I treat chords all the time is I just consider what notes are in the chord. And, you know, especially like when I'm playing with like Nick Moss or any kind of traditional blues artist, and the harmonica takes on a sort of a different role when you look at like 50s Chicago blues and even West Coast blues. And that different role for most music is that it's, you know, it's happening all the time. So like Little Walter's actually playing when the vocalist, when Muddy or Jimmy Rogers or whoever, Otis Rush, whoever it was singing. Little Walter, Big Walter, Junior Wells, all those guys, they would actually be playing, but they'd be like vamping. Like, what they're doing is they're just picking important notes to hang on that support the chords, like that are part of the notes that are in the chords or harmonically related. In other words, not the root note, but another note in the chord. Find out what these notes do and then how to do them on another chord. So you heard how cool Alan was with just one chord, just one single chord. So you can do the same thing that Alan was doing on that one chord, except you can do it on the 4 chord or on the 5 chord. Or if you get really tricky, you can start doing that stuff when the band goes to the sharp 5 or the 6 or, you know, or whatever they choose to do on bar 9 of a 12 bar, all right? So anyway, have fun with this stuff. A lot of cool byproducts come out of learning just to limit yourself to these 3 notes. Then you can just start adding in notes later. Major thirds, 6s. So right there, I just put in a major third and a 6. But really, all I'm thinking about in my mind, I'm adding some extra stuff in is... Want to get really fancy, you can start throwing in different octaves of the 7. Yeah, man. All right. Go nuts, kids. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching my videos. I want to thank everybody for all of the help. Just by watching these videos helps me out. I'd like to remind you that there are links to my sponsors below. Blue Moon Harmonicas, Lone Wolf pedals and microphones, my signature microphone right here. and all of the pedals that I use. Harp gear, amplifiers back there in the corner, same amp I used at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All that stuff, the links to that is available below. I'd also like to remind you that helping me out by becoming a Patreon patron really helps me stay motivated to make sure that there's new video every single Friday here on YouTube for you guys. Hook me up with $1 a month or something, or whatever you can afford. Helps a ton. I appreciate you guys. If you can't do that, no problem. These videos are free. I enjoy making them, and I really appreciate all the support. Thanks, YouTube.